Welcome to Tales by Moonlight, where ancient stories live again under the stars. Tonight, we share another timeless tale, full of wisdom, wonder, and warmth. The Magic Calabash, Yoruba folk tale of greed and generosity. My children, gather round and listen closely, for tonight's tale comes from the land of the Yoruba, a story of greed, generosity, and a magical calabash that taught the whole village a timeless lesson. In those days, the village of Ayatoro was peaceful. At dawn, women sang as they fetched water, children chased chickens through the red dust, and the smell of roasted yam filled the air. Among them lived a humble farmer named Adekunle, a man whose hands were rough from work but whose heart was soft with kindness. He planted yams and cassava on a small piece of land, and though he never harvested much, he shared what he had with his neighbors and travelers passing through. One hot afternoon, as Adekunle walked home from the farm, he saw an old woman resting under a palm tree. Her feet were tired, her face weary. Without hesitation, Adekunle offered her his last piece of roasted yam and a calabash of water. The old woman smiled and said, "You have given freely from a poor man's basket. The spirits will not forget your kindness. Take this calabash, it shall serve you well. But remember, only use it with a pure heart." Before Adekunle could thank her, a soft wind blew, and she vanished into thin air. When Adekunle reached home, he placed the calabash on his mat and opened it. To his surprise, the calabash began to glow, and then, food poured out. Hot yam porridge with palm oil, smoked fish, roasted plantain, sweet palm wine, all spilling over with delicious aroma. Adekunle clapped his hands and laughed with joy. From that day, no one in the village went hungry. His home became a place of laughter and gratitude. But not far away lived Kolapo, a man whose heart was as hard as a dry yam. He grew jealous seeing crowds at Adekunle's hut. One evening, he went to him and said, "Brother, lend me your magic calabash, just for a night." Kind as ever, Adekunle agreed. Kolapo ran home, set the calabash before him, and shouted, "Give me food, give me gold, give me more, more, and more." The calabash obeyed, pouring out food and gold, and much more. But Kolapo's greed knew no end. He kept shouting until his room overflowed. Then, suddenly, the treasures turned to dust, and the calabash cracked into two, vanishing with a loud puff. The next morning, Kolapo came crying to Adekunle, but the kind farmer only sighed and said, "The spirit of the gift lives where generosity dwells. Greed destroys its own blessings." From that day, Kolapo learned to share what little he had. The villagers often said, "A good heart is the real magic calabash." And so, my children, remember, it is not how much you have, but how much kindness you pour from your heart that makes life full. Till we meet again under the moonlight. May your hands never be empty, and your heart always be generous. Thank you for joining us under the moonlight. If this story warmed your heart, please like, share, and subscribe so the magic of storytelling can live on in every home.